Moving on to running backs, like I alluded before, it's pretty lean out there. It's a number of guys that maybe have the opportunities if someone's traded or something like that. There's just a lot of nebulous backfields right now. So some guys that are on my radar are from the Rams. That's Kyron Williams and Ronnie Rivers. So actually, it was Matthew Berry that was tweeting this whole thing that Ronnie Rivers might be the guy heading into Sunday, and I actually mentioned it on Convince Me, and I think Sean and Chris both laughed at me, and they were like, "I'm not concerned about fourth string running back Ronnie Rivers," and I mean, it certainly was not like he didn't have a fantastic performance, but this backfield is so wide open without Cam Akers there. And Darrell Henderson, I mean, he was sick this week, but he's dealt with a lot of injuries. And I just feel like the fact that he was on the field, but not used as much as Rivers, like I said, the fourth string guy, it certainly feels like either Kyron Williams or Ronnie Rivers could step up. Kyron Williams hasn't seen the field all year, but they do plan to get him the ball. And I heard that his return is imminent and that they do actually want to use him pretty heavily. So that's a backfield that I'm interested in. The Chiefs have a confusing situation. With teams coming off bye, it's like, I always forget what happened. And like with the Chiefs, this was a mess. Right before the game, obviously, like Isaiah Pacheco was named the starter ahead of the week 7 matchup against the 49ers. Ahead of Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and then Helaire ended up with the better game, but Jerick McKinnon has seen the most snaps of everyone, so it's kind of a mess there. I mean, they've got a somewhat nice 3-game stretch coming up, so they may be worth looking at. Caleb Huntley is another name. I just don't like that he's not involved in the passing game at all, so that kind of limits his upside. Like, I'd rather have Algier if he's out there in your leagues, but Caleb Huntley 4% rostered. He did see 16 carries for 91 yards, but they won't be facing the Panthers every week. So do you have any other names that would be on your radar if you need a running back?
So many messes. I don't want Caleb Huntley, because actually, I might take a look and see if Cordero Patterson is available in a league. If anyone's dropped him, he's supposed to be back soon, but I don't know that I'd really want any of them once they're all splitting carries. Then it looks like the Chiefs, but lesser offense. Interesting thing about if Cam Akers doesn't get traded, there was a report that he would come back to the Rams and they would start to work him back into the mix. But otherwise, I do like Kyron Williams, because I think there is the potential for someone to emerge there. And the guys that I really like, unfortunately, there's so many teams on a bye right now that you probably need someone who can help you right now. But we're getting very close to the time where there's a lot of interesting people who I like as the number 2 that would be a clear number 1 if something happened to them one. But they're also getting some work as a number 2 right now. And that includes Jaylen Warren, who, I don't think you like anything you're seeing from the run game in Pittsburgh, but they keep working him into the mix. And if anything happened to Najee Harris, he would clearly be the guy. Rashad White, I think we've mentioned almost every week here. He keeps biting into Leonard Fournette's time, and Leonard Fournette isn't lighting the world on fire. Obviously, Alexander Madison falls into that category. Dontrell Hilliard is an interesting one. When Tennessee ran for about 400 yards this week, it was like 300 of them were Derrick Henry, but like the rest of it was Dontrell Hilliard, and he would obviously have a huge role if anything happened there. So those are all guys that are kind of interesting. Dearness Johnson, just in case. We'll know if Kareem Hunt gets traded before most waiver wire pickups are due. And I guess Chuba Hubbard falls into this category now that Deontay Foreman has become the man there, but it was just a week ago that Chuba Hubbard was the starter who got more snaps and gets all the work in the passing game. So he's going to be involved no matter what, and could theoretically still take that backfield over. And I'll say James Cook is another one who obviously Buffalo is not going to force James Cook into the mix, but I think he had his most glimpses of what he could potentially be last night.
Absolutely. And what a great performance from what Sean Kerner coined on Convince Me as a dollar store Derrick Henry. That is just Donta Foreman. Certainly, definitely a waiver wire savior there. So there are definitely weeks that you can get guys. It's just this happens to be a rougher week for the running backs.